Okay everybody, this is Rhyme with a Satisfactory tip video for you here. I've got two inventions of my own to show off to you. Hopefully you like them and can use them in your own game or potentially adapt them to your own purposes. As far as I know, these are original to me, so we'll just dive right in. The first thing I want to show you is what I have dubbed the Glorious Omnibus. It is beautiful to behold. So this is 6 Mk5 lanes configured in such a way that they work in beautiful harmony. What you have here is smart splitters and mergers, and Mk5 lanes connecting all of them, although you could of course do this with any type of lane. And the mergers, the smart splitters, have overflow. There's also power here, so that if you are a person like me who likes to fly around on your little hover thing, you can connect some power to it. Just like that. My game always freezes when I connect power these days. And there we go. And now it's now I can hover around this thing in free form. Now, the big deal about this is you can put any resources on this. These 6 lanes combined functionally act as one giant lane, in the sense that you can put anything you want on, it'll flow down the line, and you can pull anything off. That's why you have all these splitters and mergers. So, for example, this is one in progress. You can see I've got this going for quite some ways. And there's a number of little resources flowing on here that I can take off at my leisure. So let's say, for example, I want to do a little manufacturing. Let's see, I can split off. I can attach a little splitter attachment. I'll throw it right here, I think. Sure, why not? Oops, I have it facing the wrong way. How embarrassing. There we go. Put it right there. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so here's the Omnibus splitter. And now, with this splitter blueprint, I can attach any of these are exit points, any of these smart splitters. Let's just pick this one, doesn't really matter which one. Throw that one there, 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 and that one there. And now that's set up, I can get anything I want off of this Glorious Omnibus, and it'll all flow and collect out here. So let's just give this a little test run. Let's say for some reason we want, let's say plastic. So this is already pre-configured. I've got my overflow, any undefined flow through on the right, and on the right I can choose. This is the chooses where you choose what item you want. In my case, it's gonna be plastic. I've chosen plastic. Now I can just copy this setting by doing Control-C, and I can just look at these other smart splitters and press Control-V to just paste the setting onto them, so I don't need to go set them all manually. Just paste it up and down, and there, you can see that now plastic is being pulled off the Omnibus onto the splitter, and it's being collected. And no matter what lane of these 6 lanes it's going on to, it'll be pulled off and merged and split and merged down into one functional lane. So this lets 6 lanes act as one. I have the capacity of 6 lanes, and I can extract them down to whatever I want. And the same thing works for merging. So if I want to merge something on the lane, I can use the Omnibus merger. Let's just use the, just throw a merger right here. That'll work. So the merger is even nicer. There's nothing even to configure. I can send in whatever I want in any quantities that a belt can fit, up to 780 on an input. And I can send in any number of things that my heart desires, and it'll be available for manufacturing. So hopefully you can see the applications for this. There's quite a few of them. But what this lets you do essentially, what I use this for is all my highly manufactured goods. Anything that doesn't take 10,000 things per minute. If I need anything, I can just throw on this Omnibus and pick it up down later. If you're doing computers or any number of things, there's lots of applications. Basically, what it lets you do is it lets you route one time, and then at any point you can pull things back off and put things back on. So I don't know, it's a fun little thing. So let's just throw some plastic back on the Omnibus just for example's sake. So here's the plastic coming off, and then it's going to go back on. Now it's being merged on here, and there it goes. And this is, by the way, why I chose 6 belts, is because 6 can be split evenly. So this on-ramp, this merger here, will evenly distribute everything coming onto this lane exactly evenly across the 6 lanes. And with different numbers of belts, that's more and more difficult to do. But with 6, you can split 1 into 2, and then each of those into 2 more, and then keep the third go forward. So these both go to 2, and then these both become 3, and the math just works out for 6 lanes. So there you go. That's a fun little omnibus demo. So the Glorious Omnibus, lots of fun applications. It basically lets you have one giant lane that you can just route everything onto, and because there's all these entrance and exit points that as you build it, you can insert and take off any point along the way, and you don't need to really configure anything. You can just grab what you want, do what you want with it, and then put back on what you don't need. It allows for perfect efficiency. Now, one of the ways you need to keep it, things you need to do to keep this moving, by the way, is you need to make sure that it never stops. And for that, we have overflow lanes. So I have these built down later on. But basically what I've got 3 overflow blueprints that you would configure such that the omnibus would always continue and never stop. So that if at any point overflows, any overflow resources would get sunk immediately. So I would have this down at the end of the omnibus, potentially before some storage. That's another thing you can do with this, is if you've got extra stuff you don't need, you can throw it into storage. So because of I'm using a Mark II blueprint designer for this because the limitations of that. I've got 2 lanes here, but you get the idea. So with some overflow blueprints, you can just make sure that nothing overflows by routing them into here. And that way your bus stays moving and never gets stopped. And you can always use, of course, like a nice handy storage blueprint or something like that to store everything you don't need as well. So lots of fun options. All right, well, that's the omnibus demo. I've got one more demo I'll throw into a separate video. So if you like this, stick around. Maybe you like the next one with drones.